Leo, it is November energy. And when I tap into Source to get a message for you, I hear the phrase mean it. Let's have an aligned astro chat about it. Hello, all. Stacy, the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to your Transformational Tarot for November. And my luscious Leos, OMG, Spirit is talking to you, and that phrase, mean it, came through loud and clear. So I really feel like we're going to be talking a lot about intention. What are your intentions? So we are going to be pulling cards for you today from the Unveiled Tarot. This is by Jesse Lonergan, and we are doing an overarching theme from the Divine Feather Messenger. This is by Allison DeNicola and David Shearer. So without further ado, let's get to it. All right. Wow. That came through loud and clear. So I can't wait to find out what that is all about for you guys. I definitely feel that this month is a month where you're going to be making some big changes, big shifts. And maybe that's why the mean it is coming through, that you need to mean what it is that you're choosing. Owl, your intuition is correct. Follow your inner wisdom without fail. Yeah. Say it and then mean it. Whatever is coming through for you, you want to own that. I feel like anything that comes out of your mouth, any decisions that you make at this time, there needs to be this like unbridled belief that it is exactly the way it's supposed to be. And don't look back. And I want to say, don't even necessarily discuss it with anyone that doesn't, need to know. Obviously we share our lives with a lot of different people. So there may be some people that you need to share this with, but make sure that when you're sharing it as a statement of fact, not as something to deliberate, not as something that someone else gets to say, well, I disagree with this, or I don't want that, or whatever. It's a statement of fact. And how can we work around this, or how can we work through this, or how can we work together to, support this and make this happen? So yeah, follow your inner wisdom without fail. Goodness me, that's super powerful. Starting November off with a bang. Okay, so where are you presently right now in your transformational journey? What part of you is shifting, rising, or dissolving? Interesting. I feel like you're stuck. I feel like you're just blah. Like you're looking at everything and you're going, oh, like, is this all there is? I know there's got to be something more. I'm doing all the things. Where am I? Why am I not feeling more engaged? Why am I not feeling more connected? Blech. And I feel like part of this, we're seeing this person on the outside, and it looks like he's kind of made of stone, right? He's this big, meaty guy, and he looks like he's made of stone. There's not a whole lot of flexibility. And then on the inside, what we're seeing is, this tall, skinny kind of guy. He almost looks a little demonic in nature. And he's like, it's like, what's the golem from Lord of the Rings, right? My precious. I feel like, not that that's you guys. I feel like that's kind of how you're feeling about the world. Like a little bit of disillusionment, a little bit of maybe even you're observing the world and you're seeing a lot of that. And you're going, I can't connect to that. Like, I don't resonate with that at all. And so as a result, you're feeling a bit of disconnection from the world and from things that I want to say can, sort of really bring you joy. And I feel like, where you're at presently, when we ask the question, what part of you is shifting, rising, or dissolving? I feel like what's coming up for you in November is an opportunity to dissolve this. And in fact, maybe even to just like walk away, like turn your back on it, because it doesn't really need to be a part of your life. It doesn't really need to be a part of your existence. You've acknowledged it. It's there. You know that that's where it is. And so you're like, okay, I don't need to have any more engagement with this. I can kind of choose my own path. I can beat to the tune of my own drum. And I feel like that's really what's coming out here. You know, fours are about foundation, building foundation, laying foundation. It's also about manifesting. So mean it. That makes sense. It's no accident. I want to say, you know, source always works in mysterious ways, and I feel like that four is coming through for a reason, because you are about to establish a new foundation, a new pattern. But you have to like acknowledge the illusion that is life, or maybe the reality of life, and then it's about creating your own reality. I feel like that's really, really important, a very important statement or feeling that's coming out. So yeah, no, Leo, you are not the golem. You're definitely not the golem, but I definitely feel that you're witnessing a lot of that sort of similar energy in what you're witnessing out in the world. Catalyst, what's fueling or hindering your transformation? Is this resistance or rocket fuel? Oh, I love it. So okay, so let's be real here. This Six of Wands is actually what's hindering you. And hear me out. It's hindering you because you're not wanting to move unless you know 150% that it's going to get you to a victorious place. Like it's going to get you to where you want to be. And I want to say that's where some of the illusion is, that you're not going to have the victory until you make the move. The victory is going to be created through the movement, but you're kind of doing it backwards, right? Like I feel like the universe is telling you we're going to reverse engineer it. Know how you want to feel and then take the steps, and we'll figure out what the journey is going to be and how to get to your victory. But you're sitting here waiting for the steps to arrive to show you how victory can become. And when we look at this particular card, this victory outside of the square doesn't really look much like a victory, does it? You've got people heads bowed. It's very dark. It's gray. People are scruffed up. People are tired. Nobody's cheering. This feels like the conquering hero, and these people have been conquered, right? Their royalty, their protectors have been in war, and they've been embroiled in it. They got roped into it. It's not their fault. They don't mean to be a part of it. And now they're going to be the ones facing the consequence. So where is the victory, right? Where is the victory? I feel like this is coming up as a catalyst for you to really recognize, if I'm waiting, what kind of victory am I going to get from either of these two figures? What kind of victory am I going to get from this big guy? What kind of victory am I going to get from the golem? I don't need any of this. So therefore, I'm going to change what my victory is. I'm going to change the idea of what my victory is. I'm going to go with, this is how I want to feel. And I'm going to tell the universe that. And then the universe can figure out the journey that I need to take. The universe can give me the victory that I want, because this is no victory. This has nothing to do with anything that I want to be connected to. So I feel like you're really going to be kind of evaluating what is on offer and deciding whether or not it's good enough for you, quite honestly. So this actually is going to be rocket fuel for you if you really are honest about what you're witnessing, what it is that you're looking at, and being honest about, I don't want to engage with that anymore, and then choosing not to engage. Simple isn't always easy. So once you see it, it's going to be a simple choice, a simple path, but it might not be easy. So connect with your guides, connect with your angels, ask for the help to make the choice to no longer engage in that, so that you can move forward into a victory that is more aligned with what you're really seeking. Deep root. What deep belief, wound, or soul contract is driving this transformation under the surface? Ooh, we have the sun. Interesting. You've been pleasure seeking. You've been, I feel like, adrenaline junkie a little bit here. You've maybe been distracting yourself, seeking, we all do this. Sometimes we don't know what the hell we want, so we throw spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. We don't like feeling pain or stuck or lost, so we throw ourselves into anything that can give us a respite from the reality, of what we're feeling. Um, I feel like that's why the sun card is coming up, because I feel like you've been seeking a lot of to get out of all of this, you've been seeking nothing but sunshine and daisies, wine and roses. And as we know, the sun is beautiful. We obviously prefer the sun, but the sun can get too hot. It can burn us out. The adrenaline junkie, you can't run on adrenaline all the time. The body needs an ebb. It can't always be in flow. And so I feel like the subconscious trigger here is there's a part of you that maybe doesn't want to have to deal with this. You want to just constantly be going into the feel good mode. I want to say for some of you, we all, by the way, PS and FYI, we all have vices. We all have addictions. So we're all addicted to something in some capacity. Whatever your addiction is, whatever your vice is, this says to me that maybe that has gotten a little bit out of hand, or you've been leaning on it like a crutch for maybe a little too long now. And the sun is inviting you to kind of come back into a bit more of a balance, a bit more of a harmonious energy, to say it doesn't have to be, this up and down. You don't have to be running roughshod and moving so fast. It is time now to kind of settle in, take a bit of a rest. The sun is shining so brightly, there's not a cloud in the sky here. So you're going to be able to see very, very clearly what is available to you. But you have to stop to be able to actually look at it and to sit with it and process it. The sun is the light of truth. And so I feel like it's time to really be in your truth, or to face your truth. And I'm not trying to say you're a liar. I'm not trying to say that you haven't been in your truth, whatever. This is, gradients of it, right? But I do feel like in order for you to move out of this, like just the acknowledgement of the illusion of the world around you, the acknowledgement that none of this is bringing me any joy, is a positive thing. That's going to help you. That is truth in itself. I might not know what's going to make me happy, but I know that this isn't. And I know that this isn't, me distracting, deferring and deflecting my feelings and emotions, or my boredom, or my lack of direction. This is the root of it. So just be aware of that this month. I feel like you want to just kind of pay attention to those spaces and places in your life when you are looking to distract yourself from what you are experiencing or what you are feeling. And again, we all have them. So I'm not calling you out, Leo. We all have that stuff. I'm just seeing through, your guides are saying that this is the crux of it. This is maybe what you're not seeing. So because we're talking about it now, you can be on the lookout for it. And you know what? If you don't see it, that's okay too. Ask your angels and guides to point it out in a gentle, loving way, so that you can, be able to see it quickly and move forward, move beyond the lesson, so to speak. What's dying away? What part of you is falling away at this time? What role, pattern, or identity has run its course? Yeah, so you've been out of your element for a while. I feel like you've been throwing a little spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. And of course, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I want to say, as a result of that, there's a bit of you kind of losing yourself in the process. And, like you're a fire sign, right? So, the element of fire and water and fire tend to be opposites, right? But they also can bring about balance. Water can tame fire when fire gets a little too out of hand. And fire needs water to help it to know when it's time to go out, because fire doesn't know how to burn itself out. So water and fire actually provide a service to one another, right? There's a symbiotic component to that relationship. And so I feel like when we're tapping into this here, you feeling completely out of your element and coming back into a little bit more balance is what is coming up here. I'm looking at these fish and all the fish look a little sickly. And that's not what this is trying to describe, but it's almost like you're swimming in toxic water. I'm feeling like radiation, like the blue is murky and it could almost be green, because I'm looking at these fish and they don't necessarily look healthy. And I feel like that's part of the issue for you. Where are you swimming? I want to say, where are you swimming with sharks? Where are you, who are you keeping around you that may be um, um, encouraging or embellishing a toxic behavior, a toxic environment? We all have individuals that we can be around that we recognize, okay, when I'm around this person too much, I feel depressed. I feel, out of balance. I feel a little off my rocker. I feel like this is coming up for you because it's this month, it's going to be very obvious to you who fills your love cup and who you're swimming around in toxicity with. And not sure what you're going to choose to do with that information, but I do feel that it is dying away. So whether that's the universe stepping in to remove you from that situation, or whether it's you being intentional about removing yourself from that situation, I'm not sure. It's a general reading, so I like to say take what works for you, leave the rest behind. But there's definitely something coming up there. And Page of Cups typically is a card of creativity, but how can you be creative when you are, I want to say, surrounded in toxicity? Like, yes, necessity is the mother of invention, but whatever you create, it's going to be created with that toxic water, right? It's going to be created with, like, the food is only as good as its ingredients. The chef is only as good as its ingredient, his or her ingredients. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting here. What do we say? Mean it. Whatever you're choosing to do, mean it. If this is not good for you, when you leave, mean it. Don't go back into it. That's what I'm feeling, especially with that like addiction or vice energy. Okay, highest potential. This is your highest Phoenix potential. What can rise from the ashes? What is your soul calling you towards? This is your breakthrough energy. Oh, beautiful. So the first thing I'm really drawn to here is the connection to, okay, our animals are here, all animals, quite frankly, but our pets especially, are here to teach us unconditional love. As much as we all would like to say that we had unconditional love from our mother or our father or our family, that's not always the case. And what really is unconditional love, in my opinion, the only absolute, real, true example of unconditional love is through an animal. Because humans carry their own baggage. Humans judge. Humans, live their life through all sorts of filters, and we are learning the experience of unconditional love. We are here to explore that. But I want to say the animals are the absolute pure example of that. So, what I'm drawn to here when we are talking about this being your highest Phoenix potential, I'm feeling this month, it's about you putting yourself in situations, surrounding yourself with situations that show you that unconditional love. It might be going down the rabbit hole of watching a lot of baby and puppy pictures, or puppy and kitten pictures, or videos of shorts, whatever. It could also be that you are in experiences where you're being shown such an example of conditional love that it makes it so obvious to you what the unconditional choice or action would be. And I feel like, the Strength card is your card, Leo. So the highest Phoenix potential that's coming through for you is to come back to yourself, come back to your roots, come back to your core. It's really interesting. I feel like you started on this potential journey, feels like maybe 6 weeks ago. There was something that kind of transpired for you, and you kind of stopped it, or you weren't sure exactly what it was, or you put it on pause. it's coming through here in November. And I want to say it's coming through, the phrase that I'm hearing is with a vengeance. And I don't mean it's going to be bad, but I will say it feels intense. And that's exactly what this card is representing here too. Like, I'm focused on the inner square, or the rectangle, sorry. But what we're actually witnessing is someone who is being rushed into surgery, clearly. They've been in an accident or something horrible has happened, and they're in a hospital setting, and they're being rushed into surgery. So there's a level of intensity there. And I feel like what was available to you, and this is not a beat yourself up because you didn't, take it when it was offered. You're here now because you're here now. Like, this is the way it's supposed to be. But I do feel like the intensity of it is there because you maybe didn't embrace what it was when it was there. Again, no right or wrong. It's just what do you call cause and effect. You didn't choose it then, so it's choosing you now. And for you, it's about just, I want to say, embracing the intensity of it, understanding that the intensity of it, you can be very calm, you can be unconditionally loving to yourself and to others in that situation, but understand that it is going to be more of an intense experience for you as you're moving through it. But this is the breakthrough. Because when you do feel that intensity, you reconnect to your power. You're no longer feeling like you're swimming in this sea of toxicity. Now you've come to the surface, and maybe the intensity is there to clear out some of the toxicity so that you can be in your truth and find your victory, right? Kind of following it all the way back through. What's emerging just around the corner? What energy or experience is coming in to support the next step? Two of Pentacles. So yeah, I feel like it's very much about balance. For too long, you've been juggling the grenades. You've been avoiding the grenades. And what I keep hearing is you don't have to do this. Like, this doesn't have to be you. Again, I come back to mean it. Whatever you choose, mean it. Don't play around with grenades unless you have an intention to blow something up. Yeah, I really feel like there's some real checkup from the neck up, clarity, self-awareness, self-evaluation of maybe choices that you've been making unconsciously. It definitely feels like an unconscious thing that's becoming conscious. But like, that's what I keep hearing here. Balance only comes if you recognize, okay, if I'm juggling hand grenades, then there's a part of me that is going to absolutely have the experience of a hand grenade causing some kind of issue or drama or challenge for me to overcome. But if I don't want that, if it's a hollow victory, if it's the conqueror, and I'm not the conqueror, I'm the peasant who has to put up with that. I need to make a different choice. I need to find something else to juggle, right? Like, I need to not be in this space. Remove yourself from the circus. Find balance in places that bring more supportive energy for you, that lift you up, that, I want to say, hold you in high esteem. And that includes the voice within your head, right? The inner dialogue that you're having. Yeah, I feel like that's the message. Like, change what you're engaging with, change what you're playing with. Because if you keep juggling grenades, one of them's going to blow up, or you're going to have a very near miss, which is, quite frankly, just as stressful. Okay, your role in this shift. How are you navigating this particular transformation? Are you resisting, flowing, grieving, or boldly rising? Leos, I really feel like this is a month where you're kind of running into yourself a little bit. And I say this with so much love because I understand it. There are aspects of you, maybe it's like, the way I would describe it is, we all have our strengths and our needs improvements. We all have those things about ourselves that we're like, oh my God, why did I just do that again? Like, why? Why do I do that to myself? Why? I feel like these are the things that are coming up in November. And I feel like for some of you, it's going to be connected to work choices at work, the types of people you commiserate with, the people you choose to share information with, the types of clients you take on, the workplace friendships that you have. Maybe you're a person who tends to get into romantic involvements that are, maybe there's a power imbalance and that creates an issue. Maybe you're a person who gets involved in relationships with people who are not emotionally or physically available. I feel like what I'm describing here is like patterns and cycles, right? And so I feel like the Tower is coming up here because there's been a lot of like you not fully being present in your own body, you being aware of things around you, but not really sinking your teeth into it. And I feel like the Tower is coming up because there is going to be that moment where all of a sudden it just hits you and you're like, oh, I'm the central force in this. I'm the Tower and I'm also the lightning bolt. And I'm kind of, I don't mean like you're doing it to yourself, like you're causing problems to yourself. What it feels like is the cycles that I am in, I'm playing a role in that because there's a part of me that hasn't clued into the cycle. This feels like you are going to know the cycle loud and clear. It's going to make itself really known to you. Again, the grenade, right? All of a sudden maybe the grenade goes off and you realize, shit, I walked right into that. Or I didn't even realize that that's what I was doing. But yes, that's 100% what I was doing. The Tower card brings clarity. The Tower card, yes, it brings, like utter destruction kind of thing of something that you maybe don't want destroyed, but it also brings clarity because whatever it is that's destroyed is right at the heart of the issue that needs healing or needs resolve within you. And so I feel like you want to look at this in this way, that you are the Tower and you are also the lightning strike. Think of the lightning strike being your high self pointing out that the Tower is no longer serving you and that it's been, your high self's been trying to tell you that or show you that in the company that you've been keeping. And then, the lightning strike is there and now you have choice. The Tower kind of liberates you. It frees you from obligation. It's rough. It's rough, but it frees you from obligation. It frees you from responsibility at that particular moment. And it gives you the freedom to be able to look at what your other options are. Building fresh, building new. It's not fun. Like I said, simple isn't always easy. It's not fun, but it's there happening for you. I don't feel like you need to be afraid of this Tower, but I will say to you, I do feel a lot of intensity that's coming up. And that intensity is there because these are things that really matter. They matter to you. It's important to work through this stuff because your life doesn't have to be always about this, whatever this situation is or the circumstances. It doesn't always have to be about this. There's a sense of liberation. And I feel like you're bringing it, whether you're bringing it subconsciously or otherwise, you're bringing it. Circles of support. Who or what is influencing your transformation right now? And is it positive or negative? Interesting. The puppeteer. So I definitely feel that there is a force around you that is being very manipulative, that is definitely pulling strings that you have not yet seen. The analogy I would give you here is, situations where I've had it happen at work to me where I'm being told one thing by one employee. I get another employee coming to me telling me something else. So then I'm addressing this problem right here that has been expressed and I move forward with that. And all of a sudden my boss calls me up and says, what the hell are you doing? Like, what's going on? You're like, well, this happened and then this happened. So I was resolving the problem. And they're like, no, didn't you know that these two are always playing games to be able to get out of the job? So you're just playing into the game. They're known for doing this. And you're like, okay, well, I didn't have that information. But I was being played as a puppet because I was the new person, or I didn't have all the information, right? So I'm definitely feeling here, when I'm looking at this card for you and we are talking about circles of support, I would say to you, you want to get very clear around the company that you are keeping, because this can't keep happening. You want to be cut free of those cords. And I just want to point out here, the puppeteer is also a puppet in this vision. So it's, it's the hall of mirrors, right? The vision within the vision within the vision within the vision. What is the, where did it originally start? What's the original mirror? This has to stop, because I feel like this is perpetuating all of this stuff that we talked about before. It's perpetuating the vices and the wanting to distance and the maybe some dissociation. Take back your power. Cut your strings. Simple isn't always easy. But when that person is identified, the choice is simple. Hopes and fears about this shift. Who are you dreaming of becoming, and what scares you about actually doing it? Yeah, Leos, you are just ready to be able to just kind of let loose, to have some fun, to not have everything have to be so intensive. But again, I feel like this card is leaning a little bit into some of this that we're seeing. You're getting tired because the bloom has kind of fallen off the rose, right? Like, after a while, distraction is not fun. It doesn't have the same effect. It's like taking the same drug over and over and over again. You get that high the first time, but then the rest of the time, every time you take it afterwards, you're just chasing the original experience. But every experience after that is not the same. It's just not. And you end up just chasing a dream, or chasing a memory, chasing a figment. We're looking here, we're seeing the essence of the party and everybody having fun. And now we're seeing her left alone to clean up the mess. So I definitely feel here that this is what you're afraid of. If I go ahead and I make shifts and changes in my life in this way, am I going to be left alone to clean up the mess? Am I going to even have what I need? I don't know why these get out of focus all the time. Am I even going to have what I need in the process of this, or am I going to be left alone? I'm so sorry. I don't know why it's... Let's see if that fixed. No, fixed it for a minute. Okay, I'll just hold it up. That's what the fear is for you, that you're going to go ahead and do all of this, and you're going to not only have your mess to clean up, but everybody else's mess to clean up as well. And you really don't want to be alone. And I'm going to say to you, you're never going to be alone, but like long term. But I do feel that there's a component of what you're dealing with and processing at this time that requires a bit of that, deep dive within, to examine where the things that you have kind of been putting off looking at. You will get back to this. You'll absolutely get back to this, but not with this group. There's something new that's coming for you, but you have to know who you are in the process in order to attract it to yourself. And I feel like that's what November is bringing, is you're getting to know this new version of self. You're facing the music. And in doing that, you're shifting up your vibration. You mean it. And when you mean it, you manifest it. If you stay on course, this is your outcome. Who will you be on the other side of this journey in November? What is the result of embracing the full death and rebirth cycle? Oh my goodness. Another sign got this as their outcome card as well. So Knight of Cups, falling in love with yourself again, falling in love with romance again, being the idealist for a little while, getting out of the heavy duty muck and mire of reality and stepping a little bit more into that space of what can become, seeing the visions. You can't see the visions right now if you're constantly bouncing hither and thither in the environment that you're in. You need to kind of go quiet a little bit, break out of that environment to seek out a new environment. And in that new environment, you find yourself. And I feel like that's what this whole journey is about. Follow your inner wisdom without fail, because your inner wisdom is taking you back to yourself or taking you forward into yourself. All of this other stuff is an old version of you that is playing itself out now. It's the ego trying to keep you safe. But you don't need that right now. You are safe. Move forward. Wow. All right, Leos, that is your transformational tarot reading for November. Some intense stuff here. If I can be of service in any way, click on that link below, book a session. You know where to find me. I am here for you. Otherwise, wow, have the most incredible month. I look forward to seeing you on the flip side for another episode of Black Feather Couture, Divining a VIP Life, and transform well.